Right, right. So yeah, from what I'm hearing, that yes, not always a problem having a deficit or spending more or having greater expenses than what you're receiving from your revenue in terms of
Well,
expenses,
yes,
something like that.
but it's not really a problem, and this is kind of where the fallacy of composition comes in, because really, as I go into the video essay, is that really the two main financial statements for a company are profit and loss, so the one that has the income and expenses, and then the balance sheet, which has the assets and the liabilities. And whilst a budget is similar to a profit and loss, um, it's not exactly the same thing, because really, like certain departments within a company, they could completely blow their budget. But the thing about the profit and loss is that it's cumulative. So it looks at the whole company and how it's functioning. So theoretically speaking, what could actually happen is, say you have ABC company and they have 10 departments. For argument's sake, since we were talking about the mining boom, let's say that it's a ABC company is a mining company. 9 out of 10 of those departments, whether that's, corporate services, marketing, blah, 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 they could have budget deficits. So their budgets could be, oh, we expected to only spend 100K, but actually, because we have a budget deficit, we found we had to spend double that. And what we just thought we were going to bring in terms of income was much less than that. So we kind of blew our budget. But then you get to the breadwinner department, so the mining sector, which makes billions and billions of dollars. And really, because the profit and loss is looking throughout the entire company, that breadwinner offsets all those other 9 departments that had a budget deficit. And as far as the company is concerned, they're like, we made a profit. Who cares that those 9 other companies had a budget deficit? We
I
made a
think that,
profit. We made our shareholders happy.
and
We're all
that's
good.
where you have in your video, you have like a quote in there where they're talking about like businesses running deficits, and they're
Mm.
fine with that because they can run deficits in certain departments, in certain budgets in those departments. But as long as the company overall is making a profit, that's all they care about at the end of the day. So you can have individually or within a company itself deficits all over the place, as long as overall they're in the green and they're bringing in the profit and it's enough to cover everyone. They're happy.
Yes, with that quote that you're referring to about like, oh, what Richard Dennis actually says is like, oh, Rio Tinto and all of that, they actually produce budget deficits, but the company doesn't really care because they made a profit. I would put an asterisk above that, in the sense of um if a majority of their departments within the company were making a budget deficit, but like one of their companies, like one of the departments, the breadwinner, if you will, was making a profit, and then the company shows it's making a profit, then they don't really care. Because obviously, if every single department is not performing, then the company isn't going to last that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole thing about the profit and loss is that it's accumulative. And whilst they're only looking at one period, so whether that's January of a year to the December of a year, or July of a year to the June of a year, because that's the 2 different financial periods that we have in the world, as long as cumulatively you are making more income rather than your expenses, the company doesn't care. Even if it's a majority of the company is failing, but that one department is doing really well, and they really don't care.